Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 17 of the Halloween Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing 20 Halloween themed Cricut projects in 20 days. 10 of the projects are designed by me and 10 are guest designer projects from some of my crafting friends. For today's project, I'm tapping into one of the very popular crafting trends, which has been going viral over the past few months, which is using artificial intelligence to create printable graphics to use in card making. It's hard to believe that all of these greetings cards were created with AI. I'm not entirely sure how I really feel about artificial intelligence, but I was really impressed at how these images came out. For this tutorial, we're turning the graphics into layered pyramid cards using Cricut Design Space. There are 10 different card designs to choose from, plus a square and a circular pyramid template. The files for this project are free for the next 24 hours. Here's how to download them. Register a free ticket for the Halloween Craft Countdown at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23. If you're already registered, check for an email from me with subject line Halloween Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down this page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23 bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Halloween Craft Countdown, plus loads of extra bonus designs. All downloads come in zip folders. You will need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG and the printable design into Cricut Design Space. But before we do that, let's just take a little look at what's inside that folder. There are 2 different border pyramid templates for you to choose, a circular one and a square one. For this video, I'll show the square one, but it works exactly the same for the circle. In the folder called Halloween Images, there are 15 different images that I've created for you to choose from to make your card, but this technique works with any image or photo that you upload. So if you'd rather use one of your own, that's absolutely fine. You can definitely do that. So I'll head back over here, and then in Design Space, go to Upload, and then Upload Image. And then drag and drop in your chosen SVG template, which is the ones which start SVG in the file name. As I said, I'm going to do the square one, and this is what it looks like, a load of very brightly coloured squares. Press Upload, and then when it's finished, it will appear in your recent upload, so you can click on it to get the green border and then press Add to Canvas. But first, what I'm going to do is choose which of the pictures to put onto my card. So I'll go back to Upload Image and choose which one to do. Because I'm doing the square template, I want one of the square images. And which one shall I do? I think I'm going to do the little cat. This is a print then cut image, so the upload screen looks different. I'll choose complex and then continue. I don't need to change anything on this screen, so I can just press apply and continue. And then make sure you choose print then cut image and upload. And now I can click that one to also get the green border around there and press add to canvas. It's probably going to load in the print then cut image really, really big, which it has done. So we'll just resize that down to 5 inches so it's easier to work with. Now for these border pyramids, it's up to you if you want to add them straight to a card that you've already got made, in which case all you need is these layers, or if you want to make the greetings card itself from within Cricut Design Space too. I'll show you that way because it's a little bit more involved. Alright, so I want to make a 5x5 inch card, and don't worry, I'll also include some information on the end of this video on how to get an envelope, make your own envelope to match. But to make my card, I'll go into Shapes and then choose a square. This needs to be the size of our card. So my height will be 5 inches and the width needs to be double that, which is 10 inches. And I'll change it to black because I'm going to do a black card, although that will make the next step harder to see. I'll make it yellow for now and then change it to black when I'm done. To add a score line down the middle of the card, go into Shapes and choose a score line. Make it the same height as your card, which is 5 inches. And then you can see I've got them both there. Click to select them both and go Align, Center. And that's put that score line exactly in the middle of my card. I can then go and press Attach. And Attach is what tells the Cricut where we want it to do the score. Go Arrange, Center Back to move the card down to the bottom of the Layers panel. Now I'll change this back to black. So you can't see my score line anymore, but I promise it's still there. For the card, you can then decide if you're going to have your pyramid image go all the way up to the edge and just have a little bit of your card colour around, or if you'd rather border it with a different colour. If you want to border it and just have the outside of the card, then what you do on this layer is click on that very bottom one and delete it, because that will actually be made up of your base card, and then this pink would become your first printable layer, so you'd end up with it looking like this. However, I think I'd quite like to add a different colour for my borders. Maybe a glitter silver would look nice with the colours that are in the cat, so I'm still going to include that. And I've coloured these to kind of come up with a little rhyme to help remember. So I've got blue is border, magenta is middle. So B for border, M for middle. And middle means it's going to be a printable picture. First, I need to resize this to go on my card. I'll only make it a little bit smaller, so let's go 4.75 inches. And now that's going to fit on my card front. And there'll still be a little bit of black around the edge, but then you'll be able to see my design nice and big. And then I need to put this over my design here to get it the right size. You see by clicking on this group of all the layers the size that it is, 4.75 inches. I'm going to click on that bottom layer and duplicate it. You could just resize your printable image to that same 4.75, but where's that gone? It's disappeared. That's weird. It says it's there. It's hiding off the screen. Design Space is obviously having a moment. Anyway, so yeah, you could just resize this straight to 4.75, but there's quite a lot of white along the edge, so I think I'd like to crop that off. This is the same size as, oh, that was the wrong layer to duplicate actually. Let's delete that one. What I actually want is the pink one, the magenta one. Duplicate that. Move it over. And then change it to a guide in the operations drop down. And that means it's now just that little pink line. So I can position my print and cut image underneath and then resize it to how I want it to appear. I think that's quite nice. Then I can select both of them and press slice, and that will cut the guide out of my photo. I can delete the guide. I want to keep the bit in the middle and then delete the bit around the edge. And this will then become the first layer. We'll need 2 more of this exact piece at the same size. So I'm going to duplicate it so that I've got 3. This one, because I've already done it, can move over to here. and drag it down so it appears above the pink one, the magenta one in there, and delete that big magenta. We don't need that anymore. And I've got these two left. So next I'll drag the remaining magenta, this middle one over here, and go arrange, bring to front. It's still within that group, so I need to drag it out of the group. Then I can select both of these pieces and go align, center, and that will put the pink exactly in the middle. Press slice with those two layers selected. Delete the pink and the bit around the edge. Then we've just got the middle bit, which can be dragged into the group in the layers panel, and then you can move that over there. Finally, we've got this pink one, so I'll move it over, drag it out of the group, select the layer of the pink and the picture, go align, center, and then slice. Then I can delete the pink and the bit about around the edge, and now I've just got that super cute little grumpy kitten face in the middle. And that is all the pieces I'm going to need for my card. I'll do these from a silver, so let's just change the colour to get an idea of how that's going to look. Or maybe I'll do it from gold. Gold might look nice because of all of the oranges. It's kind of a goldy colour. I like to mock it up in Design Space to get a better idea of how it will look. And yeah, I think I'll do black and gold. Beautiful. All right, let's save this. And then it's ready for me to do the print and cutting. So when I click Make It, you'll see you've got one piece here with these little black guidelines. That shows that this is a printable sheet. It's going to print on a home printer. And then we've got our card with the score line that you can't see because it's a black line on a black bit of card, but it is there. And then finally, the 3 bits that I'll cut from gold. If you've never done print then cut on your Cricut before, or if it's been a while since you last did, I have a separate video on how to do the print then cut, which goes through it all in loads of detail. I'll link to that in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on my website, I'll add the link underneath this video. So just have a little scroll down and you'll be able to see the link to the tutorial on print then cut. But for now, get everything printed and cut, and then we'll see how to stick together a border pyramid card. Here are all the bits of my card cut and printed, so let's get everything in the right order before we start. And this is nice and easy because it pretty much goes in size order. My gold card I've used is really shiny, so you can see all of my camera in there. So we're just putting it all on in the correct order to make sure when we stick it together, it all goes correct. There we go. That's going to look so cute. Here's my base card, which I've done from a kind of glitzy, not quite glittery, but it's got a little shine to it, black card. I'll just fold down that score line. And for this type of card, it can either be a tent card like that, but I prefer to do them as a regular card. For my very first layer, I'm going to glue this one on. And when you're doing these types of cards, you can either use glue or you can use double-sided tape. If your glue is one that tends to warp cardstock a little bit, if you use a lot of it, then I'd go for the double-sided tape instead. But I'm going to use my glue because Clal is really good. It doesn't bend or wrinkle the card, which is brilliant. And we'll start with the very biggest border layer. If you were doing your border all the way up to the edge of the card and using the card for your top, or rather bottom border, you won't have this piece. And just go straight on in the middle. Nice and easy. There. And then on top of that, we'll glue the largest of the printed images. Put that one right again in the middle. Try and get it nice and straight, which is something I am never good at. At least with glue, you've got a little bit of wiggle room. And that looks beautiful just as it is, but we're going to add the dimension. Get the next biggest border layer, and this time I'm going to add some foam squares to it to give it a little bit of pop. And you want to make sure, as well as adding some to the edge, you put some in the middle too. Otherwise there's nothing to keep it stable, so the piece might bend downwards and you won't get as good a 3D effect. So I got all those on there. Now I can peel off these. And this again will go in the middle. Now I'm just thinking, actually, it would probably be easier if I had glued this on top of here first, because then that gives you a little bit more to help line it up. So I'm gonna just do that without trying to stick the foam squares to my fingers. There. That's going to make it easier, I think, because we can kind of match the pattern up. This is very difficult to do whilst filming because my hands are a long way away from my face, so it's a bit hard to see. The thing about photo paper is it's really hard to peel the foam squares off once it's stuck, but that looks pretty good to me. For the final one, let's do this the right way around this time. I'll glue the picture on first. Yeah. And then add these on the back. I should have waited for that glue to dry a bit better. It's probably smushing all over the place. See, that stayed pretty central. Alright, then once again this one goes lining up. Try and get it right in the middle. Oh, I've not done that very straight. Oh dear. I'm just going to bring this closer. I know you can't see it, but I'm really struggling to see it all the way over in my filming space. So just bear with me 1 second whilst I get this stuck. Okay, there we are. That's easier. And there is our border pyramid card all finished. I'll make an insert to go inside because otherwise you won't be able to see any writing on that black card. I have a separate video on how to do that, so if that's something you'd like, check the description of this video or scroll under the video if you're on my website and I'll add the link in there. I'll also put a link to a tutorial on how to make your own envelopes to perfectly fit your card. They come with a free square and rectangular envelope, so whatever size card you're making, you'll be able to create the perfect fit envelope. The SVGs for the envelopes are forever free, so they don't expire like the Halloween Craft Countdown daily videos do if you're on a free ticket for this countdown. So you can get the envelopes whenever you want, and again, the link for those will be in the description or directly underneath this video. But just look how cute that is with the glossy photo paper and the metallic gold. It's really, really cute. And the best thing is, it's actually really quick and easy to make. So if you're doing lots of cards this Halloween, this is a great technique to use. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make pyramid cards using Print Then Cut on a Cricut machine. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and Halloween fun. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 18 of the Halloween Craft Countdown. Don't forget, the link to get the cut files for today's project is craftwithsarah.com/HCC23, but they are only free to download for 24 hours after this video goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!